Tonight, the country remembers the life of First Lady Rosalyn Carter. She died this afternoon at the age of 96. She'd been diagnosed with dementia back in May and had just gone into hospice care on Friday. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll take a long look back on her life.
Many of us here today are survivors of that night. This building is a reminder of our greatest nights spent together, but also our most horrific night together.
Kelly Loving, Raymond Green Vance, Ashley Paw, Daniel Aston, and Derek Rump. These are the 5 lives taken on this day last year when a gunman opened fire inside the LGBTQ+ nightclub, Club Q, in Colorado Springs. 17 others were hurt.
Richard Fierro and Thomas James started that night enjoying the time with their family and friends, but they would end that night as heroes. Those two were the men who ran to take down the shooter. They grabbed his gun and beat the shooter until help did arrive. They've been credited for saving many lives. Now, over the past year, the focus has been on healing. Today, survivors, families of the victims, community leaders, and many others gathered outside Club Q to look back on what happened there 1 year ago today. 9 News reporter Brianna Clark was there.
Just right here when you get it.
Next to her son's photo.
Yeah, Daniel's mama.
Daniel Aston, one of 5 faces memorialized on this wall.
I don't feel very strong, personally. Mainly it's just getting day by day,
It's been 1 year since Sabrina Aston's son was murdered inside Club Q. Today, she's surrounded by support.
Yeah, they're still like they both have their shirts on.
Her cousin to her right, and husband, Daniel's dad, on her left.
We just miss Daniel, and there's things that trigger memories.
Poetry is one of them.
What can I do now that you're gone? Now that you've moved to that great beyond.
Daniel was a poet.
My bicycle wheel has lost its spokes. No one's around to laugh at my dad jokes.
His dad, a musician.
You lit up a room with your smile and your wit. You and Club Q made a good fit.
Jeff wrote this poem for his son.
But random bullets from an angry man took away all your dreams and plans. Now all that loved you must make a new start, with your light to guide us within our hearts.
Jeff kept this poem private until now, reading it in front of people who also loved his son, and to some who never even knew Daniel.
Oliver knows we have trans friends. He knows about pronouns already. That exposure is really important to us. The conversation is important so that when he grows up, it's not new to him.
And it's not okay to take away love from other people, even if they're different, they look different, they sound different, and they do stuff different. That doesn't matter.
Daniel was such an outgoing, loving person. He made friends with everybody. Club Q was good because that's how they became a family.
Tolerance and acceptance. That's what they hope for future generations. In Colorado Springs, Brianna Clark, 9 News.
Club Q will not reopen. Instead, it'll become a permanent memorial to honor the victims. Today, the community was invited to join survivors and victims' families in beautifying that memorial space. People were asked to bring flowers, candles, pride flags, anything else they could do to add to the memorial to care for it. It was hosted by the Bread and Roses Legal Center, a nonprofit legal center representing on civil rights issues. People there told us today, even though it's a sad day, they want to celebrate the lives of the victims.
Today is a wonderful celebration, a remembrance of the horrible tragedy that was last year, but also a celebration of those 5 lives who we lost and the absolute wonderful light that they have.
Club Q itself may be no more, but there is a new venue opening up to try to replace it. And construction of the Q by Club Q is going on now with the hopes that it will become a safe space for the LGBTQ community in Colorado Springs. But as 9 News reporter Nelson Garcia shows us, not everyone is convinced that it should open.
With every noise and every turn.
And now we have lights.
Michael Anderson sees progress.
See, I don't even know what they're doing. This is exciting. I just hear banging and I'm like, what's going on?
He's the vice president of operations for Club Q and has been piecing together the bar's new home.
Putting this together is like a puzzle. It's like little tiny pieces. I mean, if you can even look at, we have 200 ceiling tiles here, so that's, 200 pieces that individually had to be touched.
Michael was bartending 1 year ago when 5 people were killed and 25 injured. And he believes opening the Q by Club Q in the satellite hotel about 4 miles away is something the LGBTQ community needs.
We'll be able to come back to this place, somewhere we didn't have a year ago, and be able to just continue that healing.
Not everyone agrees.
This one just seems to be a little bit worse since it's the 1 year. The 6 month was really hard on me too.
1 year ago, Ashton Gamblin was working the door at Club Q when she was shot 9 times. She's still recovering and still struggling.
My life was completely upended. I've changed career goals. I've changed my degree. I've kind of dropped everything that I was set out on to do.
She's unhappy with Club Q over how she was treated and does not want it to reopen at all.
So nobody's thrilled about this reopening. We don't care for it. We don't want anything to do with it.
The new bar will open despite disapproval.
I took the brunt of somebody's disregard.
But Michael hopes that will change.
And I get we're all hurting and angry, but at some point I hope there can be healing.
In Colorado Springs, Nelson Garcia, 9 News.
As things stand, the Q by Club Q is expected to open by the end of the year. We're going to continue to commemorate the 1 year mark of the Club Q shooting throughout the evening as well as tomorrow on 9 News.
The special session at the state capitol continued today as Democrats try to push forward parts of Prop HH after voters overwhelmingly rejected it at the ballot box earlier this month. Today, the Senate finally passed the Democrats' main bill to provide property tax relief. The House does need to approve it. That bill would increase the property value exemption from $15,000 to $50,000 and decrease the assessment rate. 2 other bills passed in both chambers and will head to the governor's desk. The special session will conclude tomorrow.